$260.
You know they have one of those
Not
on
Northern. Yeah.
They got a couple in Astoria too.
Yeah, the one on Northern is
they
lit.
lit.
You
all
ain't
over
there
there in
yet,
Queens. Where?
The one on Northern.
Nah.
Look,
I want
y'all can hate on Queens all you want. Every plate is a gat
They still
rate.
got that P.O. over there?
Yeah, P.O. You already.
Yo, I
Definitely
got like
some
3
hot
Peruvian
ones.
spots
Get
within
some
walking
cold
distance. My
accent.
I don't know
girl.
about
I
that
got-
bacon. I know about some P.O.V.
I got 2 Turkish spots. I got like the UN of food by me. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
You Samoan?
Me?
Oh, you just like
Nah,
art.
I went. My artist was kicking with this dude, and then homie just freestyled the whole thing.
So Prince, you meant to move in a
I
little
see the
bit.
time.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like the whole arm is dedicated. to time.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
one
that's
too.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got my big clock.
You good?
Yeah, I tried to do the tap route on this one. Tapped out.
Everyone comfortable with the way they sound on their earphones?
No joke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Flatbush corner in the middle of the room
I
now.
was just
Wait, I can't hear anything.
You sound good.
Devon Sound.
Can you
Sound
hear
good?
me?
check, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Been there, rock that.
You
You sound proper.
Did it good? Yeah. Maybe.
That buzzing's just in the
I
headphones.
can't hear
right?
you because you're not talking to your microphone.
Yo,
Yo.
I gotta
You gotta trade that tea for
There's
coffee.
this video, this Asian guy, he's seasoning his broth water,
Right?
right?
Good, right? Yeah.
He takes up the broth water and he tastes it. Not enough salt, so he puts the salt in the broth.
All right, so I'm gonna start
water.
y'all up.
But he's sipping out the spoon that he lifted it up from, and he keeps sipping it. Still not enough salt.
Oh, wow.
Still not enough salt. He's like, why is this thing? So he finally like, yo.
He forgetting the
He
dip.
goes, he puts the spoon in the bowl, gets something else, add more salt, then he mixes it, and then he sips it, and it's all salt water.
No, yeah.
Not, I was like, yo, what the hell? You get it?
Fuck up the
Yeah.
juice.
I was just like, yo, what the hell is this?
It's a density
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
You know the deal. If that turns any other color at any time, you wave your hands and I'll come
Yeah.
right.
All right,
No.
Cool, guys.
that buzzing's all in the headphones, all right?
Yeah, that's on the headphones. That's just because we're using those splitters and shit.
Understood.
Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna go live.
Okay, mom buzzing.
26.
26.
All right, so there's one take. That's it. We're going live. All right, cool. Let's do that.
No, I mean, I edit it.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a
worry.
low pressure situation.
Talk your
Oh, I'm
talk,
not worried,
as we
man.
say.
I
I
leave
left-
most of the
I left my
nonsense
brain
in it,
outside,
though.
B. This is pure.
We just want heart in here, you know?
That's it.
Okay, so I'm about to start. So basically, what we're gonna do is that we go around one time, and then I introduce you
Sweet.
at the end.
Let's do it. I'll sit back and
been a
watch.
minute,
This is
Prince.
funny. It's my
I
favorite
know,
part.
Too long.
bro.
Too long.
I know.
Prince, you ready?
Yes, sir.
I want this episode to be like last
Flatbush
week.
Con, huh?
You're a little closer to Queens now. It's like Bushwick at
see,
this
right?
point. Yeah,
I'm
it's
on
like
the-
Bushwick at
this
this
is the
point.
BQE now.
Got his foot on this
It's the Mika
assessment.
Morgan stop.
Sick.
Started off.
Cállate la boca.
Cállate la boca. I don't know what that
He's the humble. Oh my
That's
god.
not-
Shut your mouth. Oh, hey.
This has been there, rock that.
Hold on, run that back.
Run it back again.
Yeah, please.
I was talking over you.
No, and Prince.
Definitely me.
Flatbush Corner
It was a
couldn't shut
BQE.
up. Cállate la boca. All right. Estás bien. This has been there, rock that. Episode 26. We have everybody here for once. We have
Yes.
Prince,
Rare.
We have Stilo, and we have Robbie Fingers. So Prince,
Yo.
how was your week?
Yo, my week was blessed. You know, back out there on the 9 to 5, which was good. They welcomed me back. You know, it's funny how when you leave for vacation and come back and then they appreciate your position because they see how hard you be getting it in when people got to substitute your duties. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good feeling for me. And then salute to Little Mac. He turned 6.
Yes,
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Virgo in the building.
Please,
Salute to my son. Yes. But other than that, everything been blessed and highly favored, and I'm good. Yo, Robbie, what's good, boy?
Greetings,
Did
everybody.
you bring my Okada money?
Motherfucker, I knew I forgot something. I got you when I dropped that other piece off to you. Well, I got you.
Okay.
But yes, I was at All In Chicago last weekend.
Yes, sir.
11,000 people strong. First independent wrestling pay-per-view, not run by Vince McMahon since 2001 in the United States. So big up to Cody and the Young Bucks. Crazy show. I was right by the ramp, so I saw everything. Joey Janela's out of his mind. I just want to shout him out.
Some of the spots he did, right?
Yeah, he took a burning hammer, which basically is like, you remember like the Death Valley Driver?
Yeah.
It's like that, but you're upside down and you just land on your head. He took that onto a ladder, and the ladder was just caved in. and he just kept. That wasn't even the end of the
That's
match.
the match
Like,
with Hangman Page, right?
yeah, it was out of control. So, I was in Chicago. Shout out to JetBlue. Got 12 hours of flight delays on 2 flights. So,
Oh,
That's
good job.
typical.
appreciate
That's
that.
Good job, guys. Poop those.
4.5 hours of flying, 12 hours of waiting. No big
Wow.
deal, you know. But anyway, I live to tell the tale.
True indeed.
Back in New York, my app launched this week with the beginning of the NFL season. So
Alright, congrats.
I could finally talk about it. It's called Vici Sports. What it is it connects fans to their favorite teams and favorite brands using sports bars as a channel. So there's an app. You get to play trivia games, basically who's going to score next, which team's going to get the most field goals, and you can win real prizes. It could be jerseys, it could be money, it could be tickets to the next game. So download it. It's called Vici Sports, and if you see a purple screen at the bar you love attending to, that's probably our app. So, we're going to be all over New York soon, and then we're going nationwide and worldwide. So that's what I've been working on for the past 3 months tirelessly.
Stay
Nice.
working.
Finally said it.
Congrats.
Hallelujah.
Congrats.
CMO
Congrats.
and growth lead, and I got a partner who's the CEO, CTO. So we're working hard out here, and it's a very interesting space with sports gambling legalized, and there's a lot going on there. So we're working hard over there, and also Lashana Tova. Happy Rosh Hashanah to everybody out there, the Jewish New Year today. So, new beginnings,
Much respect.
eat the apples and honey, and start anew.
No doubt.
Honey.
Yeah, it's sort of a tradition. It's like the sweetness, and
Okay,
Nice.
I'll come over
That's
for some of
different.
that.
it's not bad, actually.
I'll try it. Steve,
So,
Oh, it's me? Well,
yeah, it's you. Talk about yourself.
talk about me. What's there to say? I mean,
Stilo just went selfie mode on the live video.
yeah, I gotta get my face on
Listen,
the
he did some
screen.
interesting things too this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, see? Talk,
Well,
Steve.
I have to say shout out to my team over here. I always appreciate being here. It's always a great time being here. As far as for my week, Fashion Week, all over these streets,
Every week.
running into all these tall ass Amazon / exotics, like a car show with legs on them. I'm talking about some things,
Don't get in
that
trouble
was
now.
great. I actually got invited unexpectedly to a Double RL event after their runway show, which was really cool. Got to meet a lot of the models that were there, the executives. Shook hands with the who you need to know type persons. Got to chopping up with them about business, the future of Ralph Lauren, and also my favorite brand, Double RL. And rubbing elbows, shaking hands, kissing the babies, and all that, politics stuff. I was happy to see the 50th anniversary of Ralph Lauren's runway show, which was dope. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
We'll get
sure
into
we'll
that.
talk about that. The lineup, I'm sure we're going to talk about that because there was some interesting things there, which I know put a smile on Fran's face over there. But
Brand's like a kid in the candy store.
but that's just what it is. And
A lot of
yeah,
plates.
other than that, just been a normal thing. Still doing my denim work. I actually just met a young lady from Africa, picked up some natural indigos, so soon there will be some projects coming out on my end, Indigo Child, denim, the brand, some more sashiko work, and so on and so forth.
And on that note, I am wearing my one-of-one
Oh, yeah.
Double RL
Yeah.
Sashiko stitched,
Look at you.
Nice.
made by my co-host.
I appreciate it. That's what we're trying to do, And that's pretty much it. Motherfucking John Green. What it do with you, Playboy?
Oh, man, I just was out in these streets, doing my incognito stuff. I went to the Brazil game
Yeah.
on Friday.
Y'all killed
got-
us.
Yes. You cannot mess with us Brazilians when it comes to football.
Listen.
So, we beat y'all 2-0, and I got very drunk. And, shout out to Juan, Just Blaze assistant.
Mm-hmm.
We went out there. That young man can drink.
Listen.
That's all I got to say. 'Cause
Not
we
to
were-
sound like that. You had a long month, though.
Ah, man,
P, this dude been drinking almost every weekend, boy.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta slow down sooner or later. But yeah, other than that, just doing a little, Fashion Week stuff here and there. Mostly behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
nothing where, nothing crazy. Other than that, my week was quiet, actually.
Yeah,
Just,
that's what's up.
like I said, a lot of drinking towards the end.
Yeah,
And
well, there's nothing wrong with
get
that.
to see my boy Neymar. Other than that,
He looked good too.
well, I'll try.
He looked good.
You know what I'm saying? Prince, stop laughing over there. You gave me a compliment.
I hear that.
I don't need no hate from the Flatbush going.
Nah, we good, baby. Church Ave good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, did you see the food this brother was eating over there though?
Yo, it was like a Brazilian
Yo,
tailgate
I
party.
thought you was at like for real, son.
Yo, I just kept on eating for the whole night.
Yeah, that's why you was drinking so much.
The
You had
game
to-
was over. We ate for like another hour.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
drinking and stuff. We met some cool guys from Boston.
Okay.
We'll probably connect with them when they come
Boston.
back. But yeah, other than that, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool.
Just doing my thing.
Well,
But let's get to our guest.
let's talk about this here.
You know,
Sure
I've
indeed.
known him for a long time. You know, he's a very positive social motivator.
Yes.
He's actually modeled for Ralph Lauren. He's worked getting product designed with kids that is limited now.
Yeah.
People, you know, they look for it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one and only Devon Bradley. We can just keep on
Yes.
talking.
What's up, D?
More about him.
Peace, peace,
Peace.
peace, man.
Salute.
Devon,
Happy to be here.
how you doing?
I'm blessed, man. I'm feeling good. Having the opportunity to do something like this has been, you know, it's real classic for me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
I haven't been out, you know, in the media in any kind of way, and I just
Yeah.
support this type of wave. And the fact that y'all are behind it is even more spectacular. So salute to y'all.
Yeah,
for
thank
doing
you,
Appreciate
this,
you.
man. Yeah. So,
So-
I'm just in the space of like, you know, new media too. So this is dope.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's just get into it.
Let's get
So,
into it.
what do you think about this retro stuff? Considering you're one of the ones that a lot of people may not know,
Mhm.
but you were spearheading that to get them in that direction years ago. I mean, I know personally. But yeah, just talk about your thoughts on the whole retro polo.
Got you. So basically, I mean, I think the whole retro vibe is like, when I say retro, I'm saying like the cycle, like the second cycle of something you've seen before.
Right.
You know, there's items that are like, you know, new, that are part of like older lines that, you know, I separate the two.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So personally speaking, I did get a few of the newer pieces. Feels a little bit different. You know what I mean? A whole lot different.
Mhm.
You know? And it's like anti-beat wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of like, these items can't get beat the way the old items could be beat.
No wear and tear
No wear
on
and
these.
The wear and tear had like a story to it. You feel me?
Right.
So that's the only thing where it's like, I remember actually going and getting a gang of like P2 stuff and actually taking it back to the store.
Really?
Yeah, because it just didn't feel the same. It just felt like I was wearing a completely different brand. And you know, for me personally, like, Low is like, it's the feeling also, you know, on top of the uniform. So, you know, for years I've been telling them like there's an important market that's out here, you know, that is craving the old, craving the old way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? The craftsmanship of the old pieces. But at the same time, like, they kind of like honored it, but they honored it in this new jack sort of way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Culturally, I think it's dope because I see a lot of young cats, you know, rocking it, and I say rocking it, you know.
I understand
Quotes.
what
I
you're
gotta put the
saying.
quotes on rocking
Wearing it.
it. Yeah, they're wearing it. They're wearing it because I go everywhere and I'm like, whoa, homie got on a 92 there, so you know what I'm saying? And like, little do they know, you know what I mean? I'm like, where'd you get that from? You know. But I think it's cool for the culture, but you can't please everybody. You know what I mean? When I was pushing them to do it, it was more so like, you know, because everybody was like out here, look, they was in need of something from the past. You know, like when they started dropping those like those weird looking bears. I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah, you definitely totally right. Weird.
Yeah. Because somebody might not think they weird looking bears.
Yeah, well, you know.
You talking about the inflated ones? The
Yeah, man.
So you mean like-
yeah.
So you mean like the Bring It Back campaign?
well, no, those aren't the
Nah,
weird
no.
ones. He's
Oh,
talking
not
about the new ones,
new
the
ones.
fat,
Yeah.
the fat bears.
It's
Oh,
like
okay.
cartoon babies.
Oh, the cartoony.
Now, aren't
Yeah.
there's no? You don't think that was paying homage to like some of the older cats who were
No.
trying to squeeze into their old
that's
threads
just-
from
no,
back?
no.
That's
That's
not like a
just-
representation of that.
no,
No.
I have no idea who came up with that idea.
It's a
I'm gonna get in
designer
trouble for that.
Because
one.
remember, back in the days, we used to wear oversized
Right.
stuff, so it would be
Something.
baggy more than looking tight and bloated
But
with a
back
cowboy
then,
hat,
in 20 years of
and you making it purple label, and you putting the tag on it for what?
No, let me tell
Right.
you,
Come
those
on.
bears look just like Moschino brought out
Mhm.
a bear.
Yes,
That
It
was
looks
similar.
just like the
Mhm.
Moschino
Exactly.
it
bear.
doesn't feel like a Ralph.
And
bear.
you know, with fashion, fashion copies all the time. They copy each other. They go back and forth. So I think for me, it looks like they looked at the Moschino bear and it was like, you know what? Oh, we're gonna do something like that, and that's where that cartoon bear.
So
comes
you
from.
feel like they were trying to target the same market
Yeah,
in a way.
I think ultimately they're trying to target a younger audience,
I think
like a Supreme type of.
also like there's definitely some Kenzo influence with a lot of the pieces now too. Like with some of the other animals that they have, I was like, this doesn't even look like a Ralph sort of design. You
And
know,
I think that's why it's taken away from what we know. That's why we can't really relate to these new pieces. To me now, they seem more animated than it was like when you saw the pieces. They look like real bears in a sense, you know.
Yeah, and I know like one of the things about having the ability to work with Ralph and this whole entire fam, the whole squad, is like the pieces have a story.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like people don't understand like Ralph's whole design process is just amazing. You feel what I'm saying? Like he can come in, he can kick it with his whole crew and share stories.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He can talk about a time being in Jamaica in the early 80s and you know, we could give everybody like I'm making up a story, but I'm just kind of giving you
Right.
the essence of like, he could be like, yeah, you know, remember Harry Belafonte and, you know, the Rat Pack came through and was doing something and he'll merge like a time in Jamaica and a time in like New York when a
Into
thing
the
happened.
species.
And then after that, like the whole squad to go out and build like an inspiration room.
and they'll bring it to life.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll bring those things. They'll bring those things out. Shout out to Lee Norwood, you know, because when I found out this dude's job was to like take the essence of a story and just go out into the world and explore.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like that was such like a beautiful job. You feel me? Like to just go out and like bring the visual perspective and like what they would do is they'll look at that rustic sign or that boat or something and that thing get woven into furniture would then get woven into clothes and like when I see this, you know, like the tennis NYC bear, that's why I call him like Baby Kid Bear or something.
It's sort of I mean
Right, though.
the way I mean
Facts.
the way it's actually produced, you know, the customization on the spot, right? That feels very microwavable. You know, when there was a hand knit bear, there was a lot of thought and care and time that went into it. So it's sort of I mean, I'm of a younger generation, but I have an appreciation of all that stuff from that era, and I have a lot of pieces from that era, and you know, I think it's cool for the kids who want the imagery of it, but even like, you know, I'm wearing the pink, what is this?
Show it off.
This
Robbie.
joint.
Stop
the
her.
pink pony
Oh,
joint.
I had that on.
Yeah,
2 podcasts
I don't know,
ago.
but sorry, but
You open it up like
this-
Superman, brother.
like this, I mean, you know, good little Western shit,
Yeah.
but you know, the quality of the older bear tees, because I pulled out a few from my friend's little brother who's like, yo, do you have any of those old low bear shirts? And I was like, he's like 18, 19, you know, going to school in Chicago, and he's asking me if I have any pieces from then that I had for him. So I gave him like a couple of bear shirts from the mid 2000s, and just it's a thicker T-shirt.
You
This
could feel
this
the whole
shrunk on
quality
me.
difference.
Like I should have gotten a size or two bigger on this. Like one wash, and it's just a different material. I don't know, but just from a quality standpoint, there are a lot of quality pieces out there. But I feel like for the things where they sort of buy into the hype era, they don't put that extra effort in to make it the quality because they know it's gonna sell out.
Yeah,
And
mass
that's
appeal.
and that's the thing. That's how like all the beers is in outlets. Once a month, you got to run to the outlets. Before, you used to have to run to Saks, Axe, look for somebody to help you that got the key to the glass case.
Right.
To get
That
it out
this
for
was
you.
because Ralph used to hold that collection dear to him. You know what I'm saying? And for you to just rag-a-tag it and just have it everywhere is diminishing the quality of this man's clothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel
It
about
It
that.
reminds me like even back in the day when just buying like just polo cologne and you might have got a bear as a gift.
Yeah,
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, thank you. You know we want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's just way too out there and too accessible.
I mean, I remember getting a duffel bag with a cologne that lasted me for years. It was
Every
like my,
Father's Day was the licks.
Yeah.
When you used to get the collection with an umbrella or a
backpack,
bag
a
or
tote.
whatever it was something
Traveling.
hot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you
it didn't
appreciated
feel
it.
free. It felt like
Facts.
it felt like you were buying that and the cologne was a bonus.
Like
you
that
know-
was a perk.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Pran said something that's interesting because you remember, like you said, with the Bears, Ralph had that was like his baby.
Mhm.
I'm thinking from what you said, maybe his ideas has transcended into something else because now I feel like he's gravitating to a whole nother brand, more like the country style.
Yes.
Like, and I mean, going back to the double RL thing, that's like his new baby, and I could tell now, based on quality, you can see the difference in the two how would you put it, brands in a way, or two different brain fart, but the two different entities within the
So
company.
good.
So, do you think that now that quality changes due to his interests, or maybe he's just like, oh, let's just flood these people up with whatever and give them.
Yeah, I personally feel like there's one market that want to see the stuff, and there's another market that want to get the stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like the see the stuff folk, like us, we want to see what you got, but then that comes along with the things that we actually want to that we expect from Polo. You know what I mean? And then there's just people who just want to be like y'all. You know what I mean? They want to have that collection that y'all have. You know what I mean? This is their gateway to it. You know?
I wanna be.
Which explains the whole push of all of these products, and really not enough people buying them. It looks like, because now I'm seeing them in Marshalls by the truckload. Some of these
Yeah,
pieces.
well,
But it's for me, it's like it's not the same because the product is different. But like if you take from like '92 to like '96, that era, you found like pieces in outlets. Like I remember seeing a few Sui's in Sims. They still got that. Remember Sims?
Nah, they closed it down.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just
We
talk
just
about
talk
that.
You know
about
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you go to Sims, you go to like Burlington Coat Factory, like you know what I mean?
You
Like,
don't
so-
even find them in Burlington no more.
well, you know, just back in the day, but
Yeah.
it's not at the volume as it is now. You know what I
Right.
mean? But like there was certain pieces. I remember seeing Slam tees. You know what I mean? And like it's the same thing that's happening now. It's like you have those, but there's just way more Sims and Burlingtons of the world.
But you see now I think those stores are now the Urban Outfitters.
Yeah, everything.
The Marshalls.
I
and
think
stuff
everything
like that.
is more accessible now. Now it's like you don't even have to go to the store. You can go to
You could
all
fire
these
up your
online
phone.
stores,
Yeah.
and you can just buy whatever you want, and they have every size, every color, and I mean, and now they have what I started to see now. A lot of stores are actually having like some stuff called Afterpay and stuff like that, where they'll ship it to you,
Yeah.
and you just pay like they break it down into 4 installments.
It's for 3 payment installments.
Yeah, so
It's-
people are doing that now. They're just
Yeah.
loading up and buying all types of polo and just saying, okay, well, I paid four installments of $200 and boom, I got the whole collection. You know what I'm saying? So
That's why you see I don't want to throw
layaway.
shade on
Yeah.
people.
yeah, it's like a
They
new
be online.
a new
Low
They having
away.
their layout.
Low
They
away.
on some layaway.
Yo, let me
You
get
ain't
some
low, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I know what you doing.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
John
The
just
plot
exposed a
thickens.
lot of people.
People be putting me on. They
But-
be like, look at this Afterpay thing.
But bust another thing, like what Stilo was saying, like what he really putting his heart into. Like if you notice that show for the 50th anniversary, yo, you see my dude saluted that '92 stadium,
Yeah.
and now he bringing it from spring now into the winter. He got a snorkel coming out. He made the paper jacket a
Bro.
goose with the silver under the. Yo, that.
So this is why
And,
like I
and
like
matter
what-
of fact, salute
Mhm.
to my man Akira from Exile in Japan, because he was the model that Ralph put it on. You know what I mean? And that's my dude.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
came from the
yeah.
dance world into music. Now he modeled for Ralph, and I gotta salute
Yeah, I
him
met
for
him at
real.
the event too.
Nice,
Cool brother.
nice.
yeah, Verbal
That's
was
what's
there
up.
too, right?
Yeah, Verbal and Bush. You
That's
know,
why I
they
like-
run together. And
Yeah.
salute to my man Bobby too from Tokyo.
That's why I like what you said about the differentiation between the retro, right? So they're the things that are just the pure replication of the pieces that came out, and then now they're just inspiration and new additions to those older collections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, I know that's your whole world.
That's
that,
my baby.
That 92
That's my
Stadium
baby.
collection, right? So do you need you need these pieces?
I need,
right? You need-
because it's sentimental to
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
So out of anything out of there, I definitely got to grab those up.
So you know what you're
Hint,
gonna,
hint,
you
hint,
know,
hint.
You know what you're gonna see prancing. I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna see prancing.
You know what it is.
So
I
they
mean,
choreographed.
you see, like, how do you feel about the things that are like the new Sui's? Just the print doesn't go onto the arms, right? It's cut off here. It just, it sort of. I mean, for me, it killed the allure of that piece. You know,
No, I
like,
just think they ruined all that circle ski stuff.
Yeah, they watered it down.
They just did it. I mean, now mind you, some people may like it, but
Right.
I like the other circle ski stuff, the OG stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So to put, like, it's like they're mixing symbols up and putting a symbol here, and it just, to me, it don't make no sense.
But-
Like, it's
but-
like you're just trying to do too much.
Mhm.
But maybe that's the thing. They're looking at the generation now. If you look at the generation, everything is too much for them. Their whole look is too much.
Well,
So I think that's probably what they catering
I just think
to.
there's so many other companies out there that these kids are also buying.
that's a little old man yells at cloud sort
You know
of
what I'm saying?
situation.
But
I don't
then
know, you can't say
another thing-
the whole generation is doing too much.
Like Stilo, with you being at the show or whatever, like
Mhm.
like me and John was trying to peep. Where was the Snow Beach or the Cold Wave?
Listen,
Was it in there in the show?
No. I didn't see the Snow Beach.
See, that's ill. You know, because he represented a little piece from every collection or
Right.
whatever, and not to
Don't
have
get me
that.
wrong, it may have been because it was told, it was all, everything. If you really looked at the footage, if you look, what I liked about this show was like New York City in a way. Everybody was just moving and flowing wherever they were going. So a lot of people actually missed out on pieces that were there. It wasn't until I got to the Double RL store, there was the headpiece to start the show. What I thought was the start of the show wasn't even the show because we missed the guy who went around the other end, and he was the one who was and they had the outfit there off the hook. By the way,
Wait, but Devon, didn't you go to the show?
No, I saw the show virtually. Yeah.
I thought Devon got them connections.
No, I've been to shows. in the
Yeah.
past. Yeah. But no, not this one.
So what'd you think about this, like, holistically?
I think it was dope. I think it was also like a, tip the hat to the folks that's watching. They know there's people up there. Just letting you know.
Yes.
The people are up
I
there.
know this.
You know what I mean?
I got a little taste of what you're saying,
The
John.
thing is,
Trust
it's
me.
like, but it's different types of people up there.
Right.
You
Right.
got the Avengers and the G.I. Joes
Yeah.
and the Decepticons. You
and
got all
then,
the,
and then Thanos
you know what I'm
is just
saying?
watching.
the whole time. You know what I mean? So when you see
Yeah.
things like it's by no mistake. You know what I mean? It's just the idea that gets to the post-it that gets recognized the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some of the things that's happening, but I think also from the show, there are other pieces.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Ralph, they know how to keep things a little bit. They know what you want to see.
Yeah.
And when you dig in more, you'll find that treasure.
And
You know what I
even
mean?
with that, I learned that those shows really dictate what they even put out too. Because some of those pieces they had, surprising from what I understand, it wasn't supposed to drop. They were monitoring the likes and what was going on in the internet to see who was gravitating to certain pieces. I found out last night there's this suede trench coat that they weren't even gonna put out. They got like 1.5 million requests. Now it's going into mass production like
That's
the
it.
next day. So like he said, there's big people, there's big
Well, I told
heads
you,
out
they
there monitoring
have
all
people
of
up there,
this.
like I was telling you guys before, episodes before.
Yeah. No, you definitely
They
drop
have
game
people
on
up there
yeah.
that just watch social media, just
Yeah.
watch what maybe Devon puts up or what Prancer put up. And they follow, you know what I'm saying? But they do it quietly. It's not like they're gonna like your photos.
They,
and
they
this and
might they might make that shirt you put up.
You
I don't
see
know,
that,
man.
Yeah.
That one of one might not be a one of one for long.
But
Why not?
give the credit where credit
Yeah,
is due.
yeah, that's all I
we
ask for. Acknowledgement,
Yeah.
little salute.
You know?
So
Like I ain't mean to cut you off, but I see a lot of patches on everything.
On that new bear, they got the patches on the
yeah,
arms.
yo, I was
We-
about to
I didn't
mention
say,
that. That bear was
should
hard.
I say who and the person I've seen walk these streets with these patches all over their denim jackets?
You know.
This dude right there. The first one that
Yeah,
I see.
I play
A lot
around
of
with a
copycats,
lot of Ralph stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
try to make it my own and try to hit the streets and try to get compliments and where you got it from or stuff like that. And but it's all inspired by RL.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean? And I salute them 50 years properly because he helped me build my closet to what I want to be as a 47-year-old.
And it's a
You know what I
closet,
mean?
I might add.
It's a polo
This
mansion of his
motherfucker.
own.
Woo.
It's all good.
But anyway, Devon, let's talk
So-
about Team Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's the project you did with Ralph Lauren. Just I don't know. Are y'all familiar with?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So just
Still trying to get that piece.
yeah, they were dope. But just go into a little bit how that came about and what I'm saying, the cause and everything, because it was a great cause that y'all did it and everything. Just
All right, cool. This is dope. It's all started from me being a volunteer with this group called AmeriCorps, right? If you don't know about AmeriCorps, check them out. It's a lot of you like at that time I was doing some work with some young people up in Harlem, and I had got an email from someone saying like, "Yo, Polo is hosting a thing for volunteers," and I didn't know what it was. All I just knew it was Polo, and I had. My homegirl hit me up and was reminding me like, today's that day at that polo thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. It was a snowy day. Drove out to the city, was in Tribeca, and I just rolled up on the spot. Keep in mind, I had like maybe some construction Timbs, some ripped up jeans. I had like a football jersey, and my fro was like in a bun.
Yeah.
And I get there and I see a whole bunch of like models at the spot.
Right.
So I'm like, shit, I ain't even come ready. You know what I mean? But I didn't know what it was about.
Right.
So I get there, and they said, we just want to ask you a few questions about, the work you do in the community, like why you decided to transform your life at a young age and all that good stuff. And then when I went in, because I didn't really know the context I was there for, I sat down on the ground, I started kicking, I started freestyling, I started just getting in my zone. At the end of the whole thing, they was like, yo, you want to come to Miami? I'm like, what you think?
Just like that.
Yeah, what you think was the first thing, and the second one was, can I bring somebody? You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And so, but yet I didn't know what the hell was going on. And so after that, they pretty much hit me up like via email saying like, we're doing a campaign around volunteers. We're looking for more like role models than just models. People who are doing some amazing work, and we're going to shoot with Bruce Weber, you know what I mean? OG photographer over at Polo. And I'm in my head, I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to meet Bruce Weber. This is dope. So I get down there with my homies and them, and we do the shoot, and I still don't know what the hell is going on. In fact, when I got down to Miami, the first dude I interacted with was some cat that looked me in my face and was like, so this afternoon, we're gonna do like a test shoot, so can you like get yourself ready to do like the wet and curly look? And I was like, wet and curly look? The fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? What's a wet and curly? I'm like, y'all never see me with no wet and curly look,
Right.
but whatever. So I remember seeing this dude that was there who I thought was like a photo assistant, you know what I mean? That was just running around, unassuming cat. And he was like, yo, man, I love your hair. I just love the fact that you're here, all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, thank you for giving me a shout out on my hair. Yo, holla at your man, though, man, because I'm not doing a wet and curly look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so me and him kind of built a rapport. And later on that day, he kind of gave me the thumbs up. Yo, we keeping the fro. Anything else you want? I'm like, yeah, I got this red, black, and green wristband. I got this, I got my leques. I got all that. Like, this is me, like what I'm rocking, Hoping they had some exclusives, but it was like, yeah, we doing this polo jeans thing. And but whatever. So after the shoot, we was just chilling, and it just so happened that I had like a photo album with me. And I was kicking it with this dude, and I was just showing him like, yo, y'all need to bring some of these pieces back. I did what every like low head would have ever wanted to do. And that, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I'm like, yo, check this joint out. Look, it's like 100 people wearing bear sweaters in front of your shop. And we walked from the Brooklyn Bridge, you know what I mean? So went into that zone, and he was, the dude was just like blown away. And at the end of my entire time there, and by the way, when I was there, I was like really just being raw with them, letting them know like, we ain't really checking for polo jeans, and I know what y'all doing. You know what I mean? I see when it got to Jimmy Jazz, I know what y'all doing, and that's not for us. And I was even saying like, it'd be dope if like Ralph Lauren could like sponsor some basketball tournaments or like some school drives, and I was just coming at them like that. And then homie just gave me his card, and I never really looked at it because I was thinking, kicking with the photo assistant dude. About a week later, I get a phone call saying like, we want to set you up with your meeting with Ralph Lauren. And like then I kind of like look back in hindsight, and homie did say, I want to hook you up with my father, like connect you with my dad.
No, not realizing who it was.
I'm in my head, I'm like, why are you
That's
connecting with your pops? You know what I mean? But when I got the call, it was like real cinematic. I got the card, and I was like, holy shit, David Lauren. Is he a family member? You know? And then yeah, he wanted me to like meet his pops, but he wanted me to meet his pops strictly for the passion that I had. Like when I was like really just dogging, I was dragging like some of the pieces in the mud, and I was saying what you needed to do. And he wanted me to have that same conversation with Ralph. And when and I got up there with Ralph, man, it was that, shout out to my dude Bags, he was there with me, and it was raw. Like, that's corny. This needs to happen. This needs to,
That's it.
And
keeping it 100 with him.
Yeah, 100 with him. And then it was just like it was like a meeting of the minds, because the way I was just thinking about the culture from outside the office, when I thought about like where Polo has been for me personally, and just where it's been culturally for like us, I had to go up in there and just like just open the door. You know what I'm saying? And then see if some of the things were like, because before you heard stuff like Ralph ain't made clothes for black people and all this other stuff. But after just like vibing with these cats, I knew that wasn't a thing. He just didn't really understand the market.
Right. So did you see with that conversation within after that time? Did you see any of maybe your conversations be put into the whole movement as far as his new brand, his new pieces coming in?
Yeah, this conversation, like this whole retro thing. Remember when the Bring It Back, we had Bring It Back down in Times Square? Like, it was like, every year we would put another foot in and another foot. You know what I mean? We push.
Closer.
Right.
Yeah, we get closer and closer and closer, and then the goal was to just get, people to be on the inside, to be that voice. So when I go to like Ralph meetings and stuff like that, I see other cats. That's a part of the culture, and I'm like, okay, I didn't invite them this time, so they must have worked themselves in. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, cool, we here.
Right.
Because it seems like from that time of your conversation to present time, it seemed like they've been pocketing these ideas since then. So it's kind of like they were studying you, but wasn't sure, or studying the community as far as the supporters of the brand.
It was a pitch. It was like, you know what I mean? Even when I was rocking with them, just the idea of just being the first person to model with Polo with like an afro, or to have like red, black, and green, liberation wristband, and like to have my LA case, which is like ancient. You feel what I'm saying? To have that embedded within a Polo shoot. You feel me? And like my own handwriting. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Like all of that were just like all new things. You know what I mean? And like the fact that the pay that I got was all donated. You know what I mean? Like that went back to service. And for me, it was like, all right, so I represent, like the 90s, 80s. I'm 30. I'm about to be 36. You know what I mean? The way I got into this whole Polo thing was just about environment. You know what I mean? Like I went to a school. It's like the corner of East New York and Brownsville, PS 189.
So you're originally from Brooklyn, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so from Belize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was here like 6 months old. Okay. My Ellis Island was Franklin and Eastern Parkway. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. And I had family on both sides of the street. Go Clawson, go this way, Lincoln, Union. That's my family. You know what I mean? Shout out to Franklin Ave. And so like, just imagine in the 80s, that's like Booster Central.
Facts.
You know what I mean? That's Brooklyn's terrorists. You know what I'm saying?
I always talk about upstairs from the train station and downstairs from the train was always a fashion show.
Always.
Definitely.
Fashion show and, a video game, how to get your ass home safely.
Without getting got.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I seen that. I remember, like, as a kid, just, like, looking out my window and just seeing, like, all these colors. All these colors. I remember when what did it for me was the fact that my grandmother used to always, cop Polo from like Lord and Taylor's, and always had Polo in the house. So I used to rock like the good stuff. Then my uncle
Shout out to grandma.
Yeah, my uncle, he was in the streets, and all of them was. My uncle, my aunts, they was in the streets, and like all the cats used to come up to the crib. Polo, there's Descente, Spiders, Coca-Cola, all that shit. And like all these cool, bright colors. When my uncle
Vibrant.
got jammed up,
Mm-hmm.
there was a big ass trash bag in that closet. It's like ghetto Santa Claus out there. Shit. Like, yeah, he's not gonna be using these. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like where it all began for me. And when I had the opportunity to kick it with Ralph, it was like a dream come true because like the hero became the homie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because now I have an opportunity to like live out some dreams. And for me, I wanted like to see like just to add another scene to this polo thing and this history thing, and you know, to see how polo could shape community. You know what I'm saying? Which then led me to like, you know, starting a fashion business school at Polo for some years, and then be a part of the whole rugby thing and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. So what was your favorite piece from the Team Revolution thing with the kids designed? Because they designed all those pieces, right? Like the puzzle
Yeah.
piece.
So the first go round was the rugbies, the polos.
Right.
And that was what we did was we got young people to learn about the creative side and the business side of the fashion industry by way of turning the employees into professors.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it like literally designed this whole syllabus and got young people who couldn't necessarily get into like FIT, you know, but they had a skill set, they had an interest in fashion, and so like that was my thing. My thing, if it's not there, build it, create it. So here's a university right here, cool, you know, set that up, and so the kids, they literally went and they worked with different designers, and from beginning to end, the Ralph way, they learned everything, you know what I mean? And so shout out to all, you know, many of them went on to like work with Polo.
Nice.
You know, but we couldn't say no. It was like a competition, like who could come up with the best Polo.
Polo, right.
But they all was just hard. You know what I mean? Like the graffiti joint that has like Team Revolution, that was a piece in Canarsie, you know, because I opened up a community center when I was 17 out there. And like that was like our flag. And to see that on a polo shirt was dope. 'Cause it was like,
That's on 80th and Flatlands, right?
it was one of them. Yeah, it was another one. It was on 87 for L.
okay.
That was the first one where the actual Team Revolution, that graph, that piece, that was actually on the wall.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was like just photographed and then placed onto a shirt. Because for me, the intersection for me growing up was like graffiti and polo was hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Like it was hand in hand. Like I couldn't be in a graffiti circles without seeing polo, and I couldn't be in a polo
Synergy.
circle without seeing graffiti.
Synergy with the bright colors and everything is just visually shaping your world, right?
Yeah. So, you know, the graffiti piece was really dope, but then that puzzle piece was super duper hard. Because that image that you see in there was actually a mural inside of our community center. And it's just a hand holding the earth, and the pyramid is out of it, you know, because the Team Rev is just all about, you know, creating, you know, like this somewhat of like this ancient community in today's time, and create this like oasis for young people in our community.
Yes.
So that was a dope piece.
Speaking of the pyramid on that jacket though.
Oh yeah,
That jacket was
the jacket was the
Let me
hardest
tell you,
piece.
that
I
piece.
still got my jacket.
Yeah.
It's in storage though. It's
Look
on
at
ice.
this guy.
It ain't coming out no more. Cause you know, it's been a while. I don't want to mess it up.
Yo,
It's a dope piece.
Speaking of that jacket, there's like this bittersweet thing with me in that coat, because I had moved so many times. When I left the city, I got a whiff of like the rural areas, you know what I mean? So I moved upstate,
Right.
you know what I mean? I spend most of my time in the mountains, you know what I'm saying? And I just like plug into the city when I can. And like between one of my moves, I must have had like maybe 4 to 6 boxes, and each box probably had like 20 something jackets in them. In between somewhere, I don't know where them joints went,
They
but there's some crispy.
They found feet.
Larges?
They probably in your friend's closet.
So that was
Larges?
that was the thing, because you could find them, but you only find it extra small, smalls,
Yeah.
mediums. Like
Yeah,
yo,
that
needed
jacket.
that.
That jacket was a part of the second iteration of the school.
Mm.
Because the first time we did it was really dope, and at that point, like we put them, we put them out for like maybe a week, and they were gone in like 3 days. The 3 shirts, and then we did the same thing with the coats, and it was like an online thing, and they were just like all gone, you know. But the proceeds from the 3 polos ended up giving us the opportunity to get another community center.
Nice.
So we kind of like flipped the
Beautiful.
shirts and then opened up a center right there on Remsen and Flatlands.
Nice.
In Canarsie.
Yeah, that jacket, man. Because I remember I had one in Just Blaze. He had one. We always talk about, yo, this coat is crazy.
Yeah,
Because it used to reflect and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what I like though. The
I was
3M.
well made.
So in
I
that
was like,
journey of
yo.
creating that is when I found out about like, because because I was telling them like we got to get some like inspirations. Like you want to get like the whole P2 piece,
Right.
the racing. We want to get the ski. We want to get and some spider elements. That's what that arm.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's we have we
Yeah.
got that like web looking piece. But it was dope because in that journey we took some chances. So like that was like one of the first times the horsey was big. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we went from pink pony to then being seen on that jacket.
Yeah.
And then they started
By the
dropping
zipper
they-
flap.
And
right
then they
there,
ran with
yeah.
that.
and they ran with that.
Yeah.
And the horse was big on shirts.
Now it's
A
always
little
big on
history
the
for
shirts.
you motherfuckers.
You know what I'm saying? So like that was a big thing there, and also you know, having like a big logo of another brand associated with Polo. You know what I mean? That was even
That
more
collab.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
And he
dope.
doesn't
That was
collab with
major.
nobody.
Nah.
So for him, that's another tell people. For him to do that, that was like, if you have that piece, keep that piece.
Yeah, there was some magic that took place in that boardroom, man.
Yeah.
That first time we connected, and we connected even beyond that. Like the third iteration of like we just came together to make projects.
Right.
You know, like me and Ralph, we dream in the same kind of way. You know what I mean? Like I see everything cinematically. You know what I mean? He does too. You know, maybe because we both Libras too.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
welcome to
Yeah.
October 9th, bro.
You?
Yeah.
Same here.
Oh,
baby.
outside the block.
You know what I mean?
Aye.
Yeah, bomb. You see how that works?
Yeah.
Crazy.
No wonder.
We 1 month away from today.
Yeah.
Shout out to September 9th.
You heard.
You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you know the jacket. It was bigger than clothes, man. Because the jacket during that time it was the birth of rugby.
Yep.
So being a part of that as a consultant and helping to shape that, and I saw Denim and Supply in the horizon because that was the comeback to Polo jeans.
Yeah.
And they took a big bet on young America. But they had to do it their way. They had to tiptoe into it because Young America also represents those collegiate students.
Correct. And that's where rugby and the rugby brand came
And even this past show, it was
Yeah.
like they kind of woven in.
You can see the rugby influences coming back with the new Tiger
And
the
the
Tiger
patches and all
Lawson,
that.
the
Yeah,
patch
patches,
word.
I saw this kid shearling bomber that looked crazy. I'm like, please make that for adults. I don't know. There are a few pieces like
No,
I
the
get
kids'
jealous of the
designs
kid
is
stuff a lot.
Crazy.
Always
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah. So after the Team Rev jacket, we went on to. I remember going up in the office and we was having a meeting, and there was like a big bowl of exotic fruit in the bowl, and I was just cracking a joke like, "Yo, man, I can't find this in my hood." You know what I mean? And they were like, "What do you mean?" Like, yeah, you can't find like this level of fruit in the hood. You might find a lemon next to the Corona,
Right.
but that's it. You feel me?
Exactly.
And we had a real conversation about that. I'm like, yo, man, it's like a fruits and vegetables, like a food desert. Unless you
Food
go to like
desert,
the Korean vegetable
Right.
stand or something. But that's if you like in Flatbush, Bed-Stuy, But most places don't have access to like that fresh stuff. And so he asked me like, what do we do? And I was like, let's just like hijack ice cream trucks and turn them into smoothie trucks and just like start giving out fruits and vegetables and juices. But we couldn't do that, so we ended up creating a sort of like a guide to eating healthy in the hood. And shout out to Barack Obama because he joined the cover right before becoming president.
Oh,
We merged with Rodale Publishing, who makes like Men's Health, Best Life, Prevention, and we created this book. And we did a pilot program in Harlem. We got some more students to go out and create this book, where we pretty much like, if you live in the hood, we're telling you like, if you go to this restaurant or this type of restaurant, like what to eat versus what not to eat. We're not telling you not to eat at the spot because if it's a food desert, where else you gonna go,
It's
right?
kind of like an itinerary for eater.
Right,
eaters.
in your neighborhood, you
Yeah.
feel me? And like, how can you, if you can't afford going to a gym, like what are some calisthenic workouts you could do in your park? So just like creating a manual, and we did that along with, we collaborated with the Cancer Center in Harlem, so we gave opportunities to people to just come in and get free screenings for cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Are these programs still in existence, or it's?
So I know the Cancer Center, they do different types of programs with Sloan Kettering, but it was just during the time, my whole thing is like, if I don't want to just like go an inch deep and a mile wide with impact, I want to just like one and done it, knock that shit out. Let's get rid of this problem, and so like health and food was a big issue, and I just wanted to see Polo in that space, like that was the one thing I wanted to see more of. And so like my relationship with Ralph has always just been, like what else can we see? What else can we contribute to the culture?
Cool.
Yeah, it's crazy because a lot of things you did with Ralph, he hasn't done with anybody else. I mean, there's people with they have different, nonprofits and stuff like that. But the stuff you've done, even with the kids,
Yeah, hands on.
I haven't seen. And I mean, I know a lot of people up there, and it's like your stuff is like.
Yeah, it's been a blessing. I mean, I was shocked when they actually took the writing I wrote on the ad and put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And on the website, it was like the Divine Graffiti tee.
Wow.
And I was like, what? You know what I mean? I'm like, this is different, but it's like what they're doing now. You have these people collaborating with Adidas and, that was my first shot at that. But it was less about coming up with product, but more around like, how can we market the product? So when you bought like my shirt or like the jeans that had like, remember the polo jeans that had the booklet?
Yeah.
And they had the people
Yeah.
give, like when you bought the product, you can choose where you wanted your money to go to. You know what I mean? So like, it was more about getting people onto the brand, but building that relationship and that,
So, just to switch speeds for a second, do you think because there are a lot of other brands that are emerging and they're obviously doing great from a financial standpoint, Off-White, Supremes, etc. Do you see brands of that nature jumping into this space and doing something of that nature, or what would it take for other brands to make that sort of leap and make that impact in these communities where they have an impact and they have an influence, but it's just on the consumerism side. It's not on the actual philanthropic side.
Yeah, that's a great question. It's really it's the consumers out here. I mean, y'all have cool ideas on what can be done in your community. You know what I mean? Who knows your community better than yours? Like step to these people. Like I had an opportunity. Once I was in the opportunity, I had made a request. The request wasn't selfish. It was more like, what can we do to make our communities better? Period. You know what I mean? And so like, whoever's in Virgil's ear at Off-White, like holla at them, you know what I mean? And say like, this is some things that we can do. But people, I don't really see many people like out here like in the community doing it for the community for real like that.
Right.
For me, like it's usually like a publicity stunt or cameras around. Like most of the stuff I do, the cameras ain't out. You feel me? And like because I just want people to, just have that life of gratitude and just like give back and pull people along with them. You know what I mean?
And I think the concept of humanitarian is always a profitable thing, and it's always good promotion.
Yeah.
I'm surprised a lot of these brands don't kind of cater to these things.
Well,
why do you?
That's a trend now. Where I saw a quote and I thought it was disgusting. Honestly, it was basically that they said they looked at this as a new form of marketing, and it just seems like it may the ends may justify the means, but at the same time, it's so like when you go into it thinking that let's just do this for a PR stunt, it's just the wrong intentions, and I think that's the way a lot of things are shifting, where a lot of these companies are doing it just to save face, because there's sort of in America there's this sort of attitude towards large corporations as this sort of evil empire, right? So it's like, here, let's do some good, but the
intentions is not
if
there.
the intentions are not pure, do you think it still has the same sort of impact?
I mean, the consumers in the market, they can see right through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know when somebody's trying too hard, you know what I mean,
Right.
to get some attention, you know what I mean, in
yeah.
terms of like, we're partnering with this orphanage organization or
Right.
whatever it may be. It's like, if you know, and like, it burns out real fast. But the dope thing about Ralph and them is like, they really were like, they tried to do their homework, and they really trusted someone to come in and do the work.
That's awesome.
And trusted someone with their team.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was the shift. You know what I mean? And just having the ability to just trust that. Because like for me, I remember like, there's been some times where I try to like, like inch my way in and have conversations, like real tough conversations. Because I've told Ralph from the moment I met him, like some of the pieces I acquired from doing trades, some of them you had to take it.
Yeah.
Whether it's a store, you know what I mean?
So time out. You kept it above with him.
$1,000,000%. I couldn't run away because I told the son that, not knowing it was his son.
Right.
So I was at that point saying like, all right, cool. It was an angel with me that said, you got to just keep it funky.
So
with these
he
guys.
already told his pops like, he did he told me A, B, C, and D. So he already knew like probably the summary of the.
Listen,
what
B,
you
when
said.
I was in high school, at some points I was just like, I was always innovative and, and going out and doing stuff. And at one point I was like, no, I'm not going to boost. I'm make Lizzie bags and sell them. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I'll just make the Lizzie bags and sell them. You know what I mean? Y'all go out there and figure that out.
Listen.
You know, I would never forget, man. I used to always get bagged boosting, teaching someone how to do it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And he found that interesting because I kind of like, at some point, you know, Ocean's 11.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be mad at Ocean, or you can't be mad at Robin Hood, right? It's the same, you know,
Exactly.
it's not violent.
Have you ever felt like him knowing that past, it kind of gave him a side eye on the culture of the youths out there who are big supporters, where they're like, where he's like, you know what, forget this, we're gonna make these kids pay for everything, however,
Nah,
marketing
because
schemes and
it
everything.
listen, man, I kind of shaped it like you would have did it too. You know what I mean? Like
Under the same
yeah,
conditions.
you would have did it too.
But
baby.
at the same time, when he found out that you was boosting, what he probably turned to Dave and was like, "What was he boosting though? What was in the photo album?
Yeah.
So what specific? You know what items?
Yeah.
What really gravitated for
Oh,
him
no,
to go into the
you're right.
store and
You're
you know what I
right.
mean?
That's
Right.
exactly what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
why would? Because at the end of the day, if I say like, all right, look at this jacket. This person's skiing downhill. There's a flag behind it. Yeah, I get it. But you know, people died for that jacket.
And risking their lives.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, but why?
Yeah.
It's your fault. You put these fly shits out. This timeless,
Do you-
futuristic shit out here that no one else is doing.
Do you think he got it? He understands it?
Yeah, he get it. Of course he gets it. You know, but the thing about it, it's not to glorify
Right.
the Wild Wild West actions of the, you know, of like the poor righteous folks. You feel me? It's like it was just more so we need access to it, and by any means necessary, we're gonna get access to it. And that was an interesting thing. You know what I mean? But it's just like the culture that came along with it was just hard to fathom. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you have people who feel entitled
Yeah.
to say like, yo, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be who you are, Ralph. You feel me? Like there's that thing, and like Ralph is like, wait a minute, last time I checked,
I designed this.
I designed this.
Yeah.
My spreadsheet say something different. Cool, y'all took, but I'm still winning, right? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
but I hear you though.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, but he listened. You know what I mean? He knows, but 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows what he's doing.
But let me
Definitely.
ask you a hard-pressed question then with that. Do you feel, in your opinion, if it wasn't for the culture or the time we came from when that brand was so prominent, it was so neat, do you think Ralph Lauren would be what Ralph Lauren is now?
I think there's a huge influence on the market. You know what I mean? Like if it weren't for like the I'm gonna just like put everybody in one arena and call it low heads, right? The low heads marketed, said, okay, we got how you put the mannequin together, but we're gonna put the mannequin together a little bit different, right? We're gonna create the regulations on how you do this thing. You know what I mean? We're gonna say what piece is big, and then there's a market, there's an economy out here. You know what I mean? And because of that, it's one of them type of things when people say like, yo, I made this thing and I didn't know it was gonna turn into this. And it was that moment when he found out like, what? People are in Japan doing this? People are in Europe doing this thing? You know what I mean? And like, that was special. But it was, you know, like, I guess they turned to different types of people, and you know they kind of like found the safe people to connect with. You feel me?
I got you.
Because if you go on to the tube, you know, there's people who feel really entitled, like, nah, if it wasn't for us, homie, you know. And the shock that I got when I went up there was like as if they weren't even aware.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Or-
that's, oh, go ahead.
I would just say they weren't aware of it the way I wanted them to be aware of it. Like they weren't aware, like when I said like, yeah, it was stolen. You know what I mean? Or people got robbed for it. Or the fact that people are in train station doing deals for it. Like I thought they knew that when I got there. You know, but nah.
What you was gonna say, Perez?
Nah, I was saying just about like the deals and all of that, how he didn't know, or just the word the worldwide recognition with the low ITs. Like if he asked somebody from Japan, he's supposed to be like, you got inspired by the culture with the low lives movement or by my
Creation.
models and my fashion show. And then when he hear from that, he's supposed to know it's a given that we out here and we doing books and stuff like that and then documentaries He should know.
Oh, now
Now.
Right.
they're clear.
Oh.
Like now they're super clear.
So what year approximately was all this?
Yeah.
Like when,
This is just the turn of the internet, man.
Yeah.
This is like, Ralph, Polo designed the Team Revolution website. Like, Polo.com created our
That's dope.
website. You know what I mean? When we had it, and like, we were like thinking about ways to, use the internet to get people to see what's going on. And I think with like Facebook and Instagram, and people start putting up photo galleries, when the photo books turned into galleries online, that's when it started to get out. Because I had like cats brought their photo albums up into the office.
Wow.
That was the only proof.
Right.
I could bring low heads into the building
Yeah.
and I can show you their albums, but they never saw anyone's galleries.
Wow.
Until they saw it, it was like,
This is
What?
for real.
This is-
man.
Like I was saying, I was telling them before, like I brought out a book, and they bought it. You know what I'm saying? Just to look at what pieces were in the book.
And did the eBay, the craziness on eBay with the prices and all of that,
so basically they were like, when I went in, I kind of like stuck to the points that I feel like they thought were valuable, which is like there is an underground exchange market going on, and it extended over to eBay. And like, here, look, this hat that someone sweat in is going for X amount of G's, right?
Yeah.
that
In their
you
head,
sold for
That's
such and
right.
such, but look
Hell
at it
no,
now.
You feel
Right,
me?
right.
And I had a vision for all of that. Actually, like one of my interactions with them was around the time when we were doing like this joint with like Ulysses,
Oh,
you know what I
and
mean?
Chris.
And Chris. It was around that time, and you came up with us when we met with the cat with Vintage
Yeah.
when we had the meeting up there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was around that time when we were really trying to like become the regulators of an exchange. You know what I mean? Something that went beyond just eBay. And there was like some these Polo extravaganza marketplace things that's happening now, but
Right.
it was during that same time. You know what I mean? Where we was thinking like, yo, for me at least, I wanted to see the streets win, and like create like a Beckett. You know what I mean? Like a
Ooh, yeah,
Beckett
yeah,
for
yeah.
Polo.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But Polo needed to back it.
So if you could get like a graded by Ralph Lauren
That was the whole
quality
push.
condition of the piece.
That was the
Nice.
whole push. And then the whole
Yeah.
Bring It Back thing, that's when that came out.
Yeah.
But the whole objective was like, yo, let's create a Beckett for this thing, man. Let's get Polo behind it.
If they could centralize an archive and like make that where people can contribute their pieces, that would boost value all the way around.
All the way.
But now, y'all got to do it. Y'all got to do
The
it.
office doesn't want to do that.
You might want to delete this scene and y'all create that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, it needs to happen because
That's a jewel, though,
Yo,
for
'cause
real.
Devon, they even watched the video. Remember the video you did with the stop motion?
Yeah.
They watched that up and over.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, every chance I get, I'm showing cats different things, just to prove. I've been trying to get these cats to bring the Rasta tank out, the 92 drum. I'm like, yo, man,
It's gonna drop. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm,
It's coming. 2019.
yeah, I'm like, yo, this joint needs to come out every time. Because when you go in the halls through advertisements, this massive, there was massive picture of this tank. And it was mad pieces I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Like we have, like
Yeah,
those
one-on-
shirts that came out, the jacket that came out, there was other iterations of those things.
They got one-on-ones up there that just
Probably
don't
sick.
see the light of day.
Yeah, one of our rugbies that didn't make it was probably gonna be one of my favorite rugbies. Was we had this crazy, and I got a picture of it, but it was it's a Brooklyn Bridge, and it was a pyramid along the New York City skyline. That joint was hard, B, and I was just like how symbolic that was for so
Yeah.
many people,
But real quick, tell them you also got interviewed. Remember when they came out with the RL Vintage website?
Mhm.
They interviewed you when they came to your house and stuff like that.
Yep,
Just tell
yep.
them real quick, because you know what I'm saying, that was pretty dope too.
Yeah, that was another push. That was another push into the,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on
yeah.
into my house. You know what I mean?
That
And
was dope. That was dope.
and everybody that know me, man, I'm a big collaborator. You know what I mean? Like doing things on my own on this journey, it's cool, but like I like the yellow brick road feeling. You feel me? So like going up to Polo and snatching up Ezra and saying like, "Yo, son, just
Let's go.
yo, do your numbers." You feel
Yeah,
me?
Dope.
Or like getting cats in their collections and saying like, "Yo, man, like check this cat's collection out," or during that time it was a dope thing because now they wanted to at least shout out people who collected. Like that became a thing. And in my mind I thought it was going to really like tap into like more low heads from New York.
Yeah, but they went all over with it. It was you. It was my boy Ali.
Yeah.
And some kind from Japan. They just went all over the world.
Yeah, because I think like the culture as we know it is really a small percentage. You know what I mean?
True.
And you've seen it in the show. But the show represented that percentage.
Yeah, I was just about to go into that.
They
I felt
acknowledged
like
that
they
percentage.
Acknowledged it, definitely.
Yeah, but as much as we want them to feel like, yo, man, yeah, we do, what's driving the sales is them horses, man. Them little, that's what pay the bills. Everything else is
Automatic.
it's extra.
The horsey in the name.
So what you working on now, Devon? Like what's current what you got going on right now?
Yeah, so I'm a self-proclaimed what I call myself a social Imagineer. You know what I mean? It's like a cross between like some 00 Disney type of character that invents stuff for the future. My email is divine@future.com.
Okay.
And I'm working with a crew of like whimsical, magical people that's coming up with new ideas that's gonna essentially make the world better. You know what I mean? So one particular project that I'm working on right now is just like the future of end of life services here in America. Because the fear of dying in America got everybody all twisted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people capitalize off of that.
Yeah.
They capitalize on our urges and our fears.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And they got it figured out. So one of the things that has definitely been like instrumental to my own success is just having this awareness that none of us is entitled to tomorrow.
That's a fact.
None of us is. And if we start thinking from a perspective of like legacy, we would probably show up to life different. You know what I mean? We show up to life. What's up? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, when we show up to life as if, tomorrow is promised, it's a, different things. So I'm creating a lot of projects around that just to remind people to like, the time is now, today, be innovative, create,
Live
make,
the moments every
and
day.
make sure you always have FaceTime with the shorties, you know what I mean? Let the shorties know like, we want to live in your world, what that world gonna look like.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
So where can they find you online so they can
Yeah, I'm not a big social media
Yeah.
cat, but you can find me Divine Bradley, on Instagram or on Facebook. But I see like an expiration date on social media. You feel me? Yeah, it's. I feel like it's
they're
gonna
working
shift.
on it.
Yeah, it's gonna shift. It's gonna shift. And they have these major corporations that's thinking about that. So I am putting too much energy into that.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to create more offline experiences.
Right.
Hand
No.
in hand.
Where can they find you offline?
On a mountain somewhere, man,
That's a
getting
beautiful
lit.
thing.
You know what I mean? I'm always taking people out on journeys, man, to
Well,
get out the city, man.
yeah,
Go
we
smell
need
some
that.
trees. You know what I mean? And go eat some good food. Go
Yeah.
see some farms. You know what I mean?
Cool.
You know?
Cool.
CeeLo, where can they find you?
Well, you already know.
Selfie
You can
mode.
find me.
Find me in
selfie
selfie
mode.
Selfie mode.
Live. You can find me STELO1009 on Instagram. Of course, you can find us Been There Rock That on Been There _rock that _ on Instagram as well. Conversation with Style. Definitely stay tuned because we're coming in with these great guests, great conversation, and as we always do, talk about style, fashion, and lifestyle. And again, love, live life, enjoy. Robbie.
I'm not gonna be as inspirational as that. Robbie Fingers, ROBBIEFINGERS, Twitter, Instagram. It's just 2. It's not that hard. I'll just say it fast. It's the one with the blue check on Twitter,
Hey.
Finite, we gotta enjoy it while we have it, It's not a big deal. But Vici Sports, download now, free to play, win prizes. VICI Sports. It's got a purple logo. But yeah, I'm out here on Queens Boulevard every day. No big deal. Let's send it over to Flatbush.
Yo, what's good? Church Ave Corner. Yo, Prance Low 24/7 on Instagram. That's it. But check it for talking about all the future. Yo, back to school time. Salute to all the kids. You know what I'm saying? Just keep your future bright. Yo,
Forgot something.
yeah.
Right.
I wanted to say more, but it was all good.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
motherfucking John Green.
Now you
Yes.
can find me on Instagram, Polo Parata. Check. We still have pins. We have tote bags, Double J Vintage on eBay. Thank you, Divine, for coming over.
Definitely.
We'll
Appreciate
definitely
that,
have you
man.
on again.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Yeah, so we're out of here. Out of time. Been there, rock that. Ciao.
Ciao.
Peace.
That was good. That was good. That was healthy.
Dope.
Oh.